Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Moscow Board of Adjustments meeting for April 30th, 2024. Our first order of business is approval of minutes from April 25th. And I did not see any errors or scribblers. Did anybody else catch anything that needs to be corrected?
No, I did not.
I move we approve the minutes then for the April 25th meeting.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
No, second.
I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions?
Abstention.
1, and nays? None. So 4-1, that is done. Item 2, which I apologize, I totally forgot last week, but public comment section. Is there anybody here who would like to discuss something that is not in our agenda? Seeing none, we're done with item 2, and we are now here for our public hearing. Item 3.
Good evening, board members. Tonight before you, we have an application for a conditional use permit located at 1315 Ridgeview Drive. The applicant is proposing to allow a private garage in excess of 1,000 square feet at 1315 Ridgeview Drive within the low-density single-family residential zoning district. The request is to allow a 1,209 square foot attached garage to a 3,117 square foot home. As defined by city code, an accessory structure or accessory building is defined as a subordinate building or structure, the use of which is incidental to the use of the main building on the same lot, attached to or located adjacent to a home, on the same lot, including awnings, steps, porches, carports, garages, storage buildings. Accessory buildings or structures may contain incidental uses as but not limited to workshops, artist studios, hobby spaces, and accessory living spaces for residents of the main building, which are not to be rented out for compensation unless otherwise permitted by this code. Size limitations contained within this code pertain to accessory buildings or structures shall apply to enclosed building footprints. This is the area of the subject property, as you can see here. This is Ridgeview Drive. Comes off of Notting Hill here at the very top. Rather new subdivision, a lot of development happening. This is the garage that is proposed. It's designed to contain 2 vehicles here in this section. And then which the bulk of the garage is 769 square feet. So that would be this entire area. And then the cars would park in this area. The north section of the garage extends an additional 434 feet. That would be this area here. And it's accessed via a roll-up interior door. This is the first floor plan of the home. As you can see, the garage area here on the left side. Living space and additional restrooms and a bedroom here. And the second floor, living space, office space, a few bedrooms, as well as a kitchen and a library. Elevation of the home is shown here. As you can see, the home is kind of built into the grade. Kind of gives you a perspective of what the appearance of the home is going to look like after construction. Again, elevations here from the east, west, and north. Again, you can see the elevation, as I click too quickly. As you can see, the elevation here changes from the front to the rear. Where the garage is proposed to be, the bulk will be here below grade. This is the subject property currently undergoing excavation. Zoning of the property is R1, as we talked about, which is single-family residential zoning district. Private garages and workshops are not to exceed 1,000 square feet unless approved with a conditional use permit, which brings us to why we're here today. The subject property seen here, the lot itself is 11,227 square feet, with the depth of the lot ranging from 105 feet on the west property line to 115 feet long on the east property line. It is 90 feet wide. Ridgeview Drive out in front contains sidewalk, tree lawn, curb, and gutters on both sides. And so tonight's recommendation, because this proposal meets all required development standards, would be to hold the public hearing. Upon receiving consideration of any testimony received, staff's recommendation would be to approve the conditional use permit to construct the private garage in excess of 1,000 square feet located at 1315 Ridgeview Drive with no conditions. In accordance with the board's decision, direct staff to prepare the relevant criteria and standards document. And I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
I have the first one. Well, you actually just answered a couple of mine already, but you said the garage and the interstitial space that steps up a foot between that and the back workshop space, that together was 769 square feet,
Yeah,
correct?
so if you go back to the garage drawing, so this section here, where the cars are proposed, and then the step up here, that section is 769 square feet. This section back here is an additional 434 square feet.
Okay. Well, and then you answered my other question. I was wondering why we were even here, because I don't know why we'd just call that a hobby space, but that falls under ancillary. So now I
Correct,
get
yeah.
it, why we're here, because it's not a bedroom. Marshall?
Amy, did the code change? It used to be we only looked at accessory structures not attached to the dwelling as 1,000 square feet. But I see this one, and when I looked it up in the new zoning code, it showed that both of them did. Did that
Yes.
change recently?
To my knowledge, it has not changed. Looking back historically, I was able to find a similar proposal back in 2007, which required the same conditional use for an attached garage. So I can't speak to when it changed. I'm sure it did at some point, but all the way back to 2007, the code's been the same.
Okay, I'm talking way back when you were probably a little girl.
I appreciate that.
Way back.
Stump the staff.
Sure.
I have a question, and I'm, only because of my own ignorance, I guess. I see where it adds up more than 1,000 feet, but isn't most of this underneath the house?
Yeah, most of it is
So-
below grade.
So I don't understand why that should bother us. We're not extending, I mean, we are extending it out by 434 feet, but I don't know why it's not, we're not expanding the footprint of the house of over 1,000 feet, which is, I guess, what I thought was really
So the overall square footage cannot be over 1,000 square feet. So within this, the attached garage is over that 1,000 square feet. If there were a dividing wall right here instead of a roll-up door, if there was a complete wall right there and this was accessed only from this section, we wouldn't be here. Because this door exists, it allows this entire space to be counted as accessory.
Yeah, okay, even though a sizable portion of it is underneath the house. Okay,
Because it fits that definition of accessory as it's attached to
Okay.
and within.
yeah,
I
okay.
have another question. This is really more about code interpretation,
Sure.
but at what point does the floor plane change how the city defines that as an extension of the garage?
If this had a solid wall right here,
So
then
if
it would
was
no
4 feet
longer,
higher and still had the opening, it would still matter?
with the roll-up door,
Okay.
it allows continual space, but from one room to the other, there's no separation. You don't have to go out and in to get to the hobby shop or the workshop. So that's what allows it to be a continual space. If this, like I said, if there was a solid wall right here and accessed through the main house, then it would meet the minimum of 1,000 square feet and wouldn't require the conditional use permit.
Okay. Question for staff on this end of the table?
No.
No? Come on, someone's got to give Amy a hard question. None?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, happy to help.
Well, with that, we'll open up the public hearing for the applicant. I see no other people than the applicant. So if one of you will come up, state your name and address to the mic for us for the record, and then tell us about your project.
Yeah, so my name is, good evening. Thank you for hearing me. And my My name is Ken Bertapelli. I'm the owner, and this is Alan Bobo. He is the builder. And I think you've already figured out everything I'm going to say. But yeah, the extension beyond the garage is intended as a hobbyist workshop and nothing more. I'm in my 74th year. I've been a wage earner all my life. I'm still a full-time wage earner, and that's how I intend to continue conducting myself. I have no interest at all in starting a business, running it out of the house, or doing anything like that. Never have done it. Never intend to do it. But I do like to, do hobbyist level woodworking, and that's what this is all about.
One question, can you state your current address because you don't live there
Right.
yet?
I live at 805 North Grant Street,
Okay,
currently
thank you.
in a rental, but not for long. I'm about to lose my lease, so I have to find a temporary quarters.
This all seems straightforward to me. Does anybody have any questions for our applicant?
Well, no, I guess I do have just a comment or question that on the different floors, you've got exercise room, utility room, a sitting area, and then on the first floor, there's a library and an office space. And so all those different all those different rooms could actually turn into bedrooms, I suppose, at some point
Well,
because
the main bedroom is that big room that's in the top floor, the second story floor. It's also my office area. I'm going to work from a desk right there. I work on the phone. And so I'm going to be working there during the day and sleeping in the bed in the night. The other room in the back is a potential bedroom, or it's a library. I live alone, so there's a lot of possibilities for how to use the space.
Mm-hmm.
There's a possibility for a downstairs guest dinette and a bedroom, but I'm not going to finish out the dinette area at this time. It's something that's a possibility for the future for a guest.
And then I also noticed that there's an elevator in the building too.
Right. So like I mentioned, once you reach your 74th year, you start thinking of how am I going to get up and down this steep flight of stairs in another 10 or 15 years, assuming I'm still here. And the elevator is for that. I don't intend to carry sacks of wood pellets up to the stove up those stairs. So that's what the elevator's for. I designed the house. So that's what I wanted to have.
Steve, Joe, can I help answer Steve's question? This is one of the things that the building department looks at when they issue the permit, whether they are a bedroom or not. Could it be converted into a bedroom?
Right.
But if it's labeled as something different, they're not
At the moment.
at the moment. If they convert, they may have to put a bigger window in or something. But the building department looks at stuff like that. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even then, the interstitial space, the workspace, until there's windows and a closet in them, they can't be classified as a bedroom anyway.
Right. Not downstairs, but there's, exercise room and utility room and a library and an office and, and there's downstairs bathrooms and kitchenette and so, it's designed more than just a single family home for one person is as a present, which is good for resale. But
They can come back in the future and remodel it, change it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And I just had, I noticed that this particular home had an elevator designed in it, and for the society aging, that's probably a good resale item to have. But
I figure it'll sell to another person in my state of life eventually.
Sure, yeah. Well, I just saw it and I thought, well, I was curious to why it was put there, but it's a benefit to have. There's no doubt about that.
any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the other member in the audience care to come up and, okay? More support. Fair enough. Well, with that and seeing no one else in there, I'll close the public hearing, open it up for the board to deliberate some more, since we have already. I saw the elevator too, and I just presumed that these spaces and the elevator, and I didn't know who the applicant was, but I assumed it was someone who wanted accessibility down to the hobby room space, and it's big enough to move around and get in. So I totally understood what was going on with this plan before I even saw who was asking for it. One of the comments that Tim made earlier, to me, makes criteria 2 and 3 a slam dunk. This is clear, buried in the house. It's not going to be obtrusive to a neighbor. No one's even going to know it in this brand new neighborhood. And it's clearly not a nuisance. And same for all intents and purposes, the other criteria, the only ones that, since code doesn't allow it, I think it allows it by conditional use. So really it's items 1 and 6 in my mind that we need to determine, why would we not approve this? And even the staff agrees. This is just kind of a formality, because the square footage just adds up to a couple hundred square feet that is just slightly too big, because the basement wall goes all the way down. And honestly, that's economies of scale in terms of building a basement. So, other comments?
Well, I agree with you. I agree with Tim. It makes sense to me, and it's almost a technicality that they really need a conditional use permit. I mean,
Exactly.
like Amy said, if they would have put a solid wall and a
Right.
4-foot door, man door in there, they wouldn't even need to be here. So other than that's the way it was interpreted, which I don't disagree with,
Right.
but it makes sense.
This end of the table? You guys be awfully
I'm
quiet.
just looking at it as basement, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's how it seems to me as well. Just like you said, it doesn't seem like it's a nuisance. It's pretty straightforward in the neighborhood, kind of has the same vibe as everything else going on in the neighborhood. And I especially think that a lot of times you get these properties and you're like, oh, my hobby space. And you don't think about how you're going to get whatever materials you might need to tool around with and into there. And then next thing you know, you're hauling big things all the way around and into some side entrance and back down some stairs. And so it seems smart to me.
Wood doesn't
Definitely.
necessarily isn't light.
No. No, it sure is not. Marshall?
Well, Tim, did you have something you wanted to say? No. Well, with that, I would move approval of the conditional use permit with no conditions and ask staff to prepare for us a reasoned statement, relative criteria and standards for us to look at in the future.
Second.
I have a motion. I have a second. We'll go down the road. Tim?
Well, as another man in his 74th year, I vote yay.
Marshall? Steve?
Aye.
Jerry? Ivy? And I as well. So it's unanimous. You're done. You're set. Go build. You got a big hole in the dirt. Okay, with that now we have approval of reason statement and criteria from our last meeting. And as a note of record, there is one change that as we go through this, we can acknowledge. And that is on page 4 or 5 at the end. Item 23 has been revised from the original verbiage to the current verbiage. Page 4 or 5. So it's towards the very end. It's going to be the second to the last page. And I'll just read it for the record. It says, the south entry of the development will have two-way traffic that will allow access to the rear parking lot and will then become a one-way drive aisle around the school with an exit only back to the street. The model is intended to relieve congestion on the public street and will route traffic all the way around the school. And with that, did anybody see any other items of concern or typos of any kind that they would like clarified?
Looked pretty clean to me.
That's what I thought too.
Did we, was the change to the maximum height made? Because remember when they came, they asked if we could give them approval to the original maximum height.
So what was approved is what was proposed in the building plans.
Okay, so they don't have to change it in here?
No.
Okay. Perfect, thank you.
Move to approve?
All right, I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Second.
I have a second. I think Tim eased Steve out by just a hair. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? None? So it is approved.
There's two separate RCS documents. One is for the
Right.
height and one is for the design.
That's
and
right.
phasing.
We actually weren't clear on that, so.
So actually,
I only
the
assumed that-
discussion that you had was related to the school design.
So that's the second one.
So the first one for the height is the other one you'd need a motion on.
Okay. So, and Ivy kind of touched on that. There was a question about where we approved them, and it was for what they asked for, correct?
That's all. I'll make a motion to approve again.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the height CUP. Do I hear a second?
A second?
That one.
Ah, Steve beat you that time. There we go. I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Abstain? None. There we go. Done and done. So our meeting to approve these minutes is
May
next Tuesday?
6th. Yep, May 6th at 5:30.
Okay,
What time was that, Amy? I'm sorry.
5:30 on May 6th.
May 6th, 5:30, and it's in here in the chambers, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I will not be there.
I believe we have a
So
following
we don't have one
meeting.
on the May 1st at 5:30. I don't know why I got it here.
And you
No.
said we're here or we in the,
We are here.
we're in this one, okay.
And we don't on,
No
why.
meeting May 1st.
that's tomorrow. Yeah, okay. Good. Take that off. then.
Then the following meeting I think we have scheduled is May 13th at 7 o'clock for another hearing.
And I found out I will not be here that whole week.
Okay. We still have a quorum.
I've got
Okay.
that one in.
I'm sorry, what was before the 13th? You mentioned one.
May
Sixth.
6th.
6th.
And that's a short 5:30 meeting.
Yep, got it. Okay. That one I would rather not come to unless you need me because I got a potential conflict. And I think Jennifer and I communicated that, but you still got a good quorum, Jennifer, you know?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't plan on coming, but if you get in a bind, let me know. I'm in town. I just,
Excellent. Thanks, Tim.
the May 6th, next Monday.
So 3.
Okay, if someone, I'm available, so if you get into a bind, just let me know.
Okay.
I'll be
Tim.
in town here.
Now, the meeting on the 13th, are Jerry and or Marshall available for that one? Because that one's an atypical thing that I had
Sure.
never done before, and you and I were going to talk about it, but now that I'm
No,
not
that
going to
is
be here.
not that one.
Oh, that's not that one?
This is for a conditional use permit and a variance in the area of city impact.
Oh,
The one
okay,
that we've emailed about,
That's
it
in
won't be until
June.
June.
okay. And remind me again what that is? That's some
It's an
kind of a,
appeal of a zoning board administration determination.
so we have to appeal P and Z? or deal
No,
with an
it's
appeal?
so the zoning administrator made a determination, and when there's an appeal to that,
Yeah,
this board hears that determination, and you make a determination. They can still appeal your decision to city council
Which-
after that process.
which sounds like that's probably what will happen. We're just the information gathering piece for city council, right? Okay. that's why I
Ultimately,
wanted to make sure
you'll hear
someone that
the
had-
appeal and make a
Not
decision,
really,
yeah.
because the city council would look at it as de novo, wouldn't they?
You will hear you will hear,
Okay.
you will hear it make a
I'm jumping the gun a
decision.
month ahead, but
Yeah, that
I
is
was
the next
thinking it
step.
was the next one, and it's
Okay.
something I've never dealt with, and I
Sure.
thought with your guys' experience backgrounds, you might. So, but that's in June. So,
Nope, the next one is another
Okay.
conditional use permit and variance.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds exciting. I can't wait.
plan your vacation now. I know what you're thinking.
Have you set
Well,
June 1? or
with
you
that
need to
said,
still- I haven't gotten
I
back
believe
to
we're done. Do I hear a motion to,
So moved.
all right, a motion and a second to leave. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Was unanimous.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you all.